Hey YouTube, that's my 12-year-old in the background there. We are looking totally trailer park today. Oh, that's right, we do live in a trailer. Because when we took our RV in for its work, we had to take it in for some warranty work, and I have some comments on warranty work, but we had to take it in for this thing because it was a black tank, so they have black tanks, so they had to drop the bottom, and so they couldn't do it on site. So we have not yet put our skirt back up and stuff. Seriously, if you look around, like, look at that. I don't know if you can see that. It totally looks ghetto right now. But it's Sunday and we just got back from church, and I'm gonna go with the Sabbath day and not do any work and just leave it there. My husband has National Guard, but I wanted to talk about the two things that I most regret about RVing. Okay, about full-time RVing. So the first one is a pretty easy one. I truly regret that we didn't do this sooner. I mean, I really regret it. I regret that we ever bought a house. We had quite a large house, quite an expensive house, and to be now the way we're living is so simple and so nice, and we are still really busy, and I think that deserves a separate video about why we're busy and how we're busy, and time saved or time gained and time lost because of RVing and stuff like that. So I just realized I needed to count my kids. Okay, I'm back, and the reason I said I had to count my kids, they're all in front of me, but I saw this little boy go by on a bicycle, and he was wearing almost the same sweatshirt, and he was about the same size as one of my kids, and I thought, I can see them, they're playing right in front of me, but all of a sudden I thought, oh my gosh, is somebody out on the street riding a bike? Oh my gosh, so I had to check. But anyway, I'm back, and so I was telling you guys that the one, one of my biggest regrets is that we didn't do it sooner, and telling you also that about how we've gained time, but we've also lost time, and that in itself, that deserves a whole video on just time and time saved and time lost, and is it different? So I will do that, but I really truly regret not doing it sooner. I regret living a very expensive lifestyle that just didn't afford our family what we really valued. So that would be my first regret. And but to go along with that, it's a journey to get to where you want to live this way. I think I put in one of my earlier videos before we had moved in that I had an epiphany when my husband had come home from the National Guard, and I told him to take our kids and just, go somewhere so I could get on top of the house or clean the house because he'd been gone. And that for me, when I suddenly realized that I just asked him to take everything that I love and care about and go somewhere without me so that I could clean up plastic toys and clean a house that I didn't really care about, it was huge for me. And I just realized there was nothing that was going to stand in the way of me being with my family, and for me that was when it all started. And but that's a journey. You couldn't have told me 2 years ago, you couldn't have told me 3 years ago that I would want to sell everything I own and live in a trailer, live in an RV. So that would be my biggest regret, but I don't really think that there's any way around that because I think it's a personal journey. So my second regret, there probably is a way around it if you have RV'd before. I had never RV'd before. I had never set foot in an RV before we started full-time RVing. So I had a lot to learn. And so my biggest regret, RV-wise, is that we felt like we needed, my husband had never RV'd either. So we felt like we needed a big fancy RV, like a 4-bunk house. That was really critical for us, that we have a 4-bunk house and that we have this big kitchen, big living area, and a separate bedroom, and that some of those things are important. But here's what I've learned after we had it, and I will be doing a renovation video. We are actually just now starting to renovate, and I should probably do a video on why you shouldn't start renovations until you've lived in it for a year. But we're starting our renovations, not because I was wise to that, but just because that's how it worked out. But now I'm grateful that we waited a year to start some of our most major renovations. The only thing we did do is we did change our boys' room so that we could put their piano keyboard in there. They play every day, they practice every day, and so it wasn't something we could just put away. So I'll show you that in another video. But anyway, so we felt like we needed this this RV that was like under warranty and all this stuff, and we got really lucky because we actually bought this RV from someone. They were upside down on it, so we got a great deal on it, but we still paid a lot for it. And it's 41 feet, and it does have the 4-bunk house, and has 2 bathrooms. Well, it has 1.5 baths. And yeah, it's nice. But what I have learned from living in an RV is if you don't like it, you can change it. It doesn't matter. If this thing had 2 bunks, we could have figured out. As long as we had the space, I would look in a totally different way at things. I would look for space instead of stuff, because you can change it. Like, if you have the space, you can put the bunk beds in. You could put real bunk beds from your house in there. In fact, I've almost considered doing that, because the bunk beds in here, we already changed them a little bit. They had futons on the bottom. You couldn't store anything under them, which was really dumb, which was a really dumb use of space. So we already changed that. And then, but like, hindsight being 2020, I would have just been looking for space that we could do stuff in. I would have totally put my own bunks in, totally put my own dressers in. And the living room, one of the things we've already done is we took out the furniture, and I just did that in December. After dealing with it forever, like, it was one of those, it was an upgraded U-shaped couch, and oh my goodness, it was just not useful at all. Then when I ripped it out, I wish I would have saved it. I wasn't making videos at the time, but I wish I would have saved it, because when I ripped that thing out, I found it was basically just a bunch of boards put together with some covering over it. It wasn't even like nice furniture. And the whole reason I had been saving it was because it had a roll-out bed for when my mom came, but I never used it. And when I rolled it out, you know what it was? It was a piece of board that you rolled out, and you put your air mattress on top of it. You inflate an aero bed and put on it. And it was like so cheaply made and so poorly made that I was like, why didn't I do this sooner? And our tables were really wobbly, and my kids couldn't do work on them. That was really the main thing. I changed the arrangement so that my kids could have a place to do their schoolwork with tables that didn't wobble, and that we could put drinks on the table without like it spilling everywhere because they ran into it. So that being said, I would have looked for an empty space that I could do anything I wanted with. And so I would have looked for just a clean, open space, like we're in the bunkhouse, and I would have looked for how I could renovate that, and I would have done the same thing with the kitchen and the bedroom. I just would have looked totally different. So that is my one regret. I think we probably could have saved about $30,000 if we hadn't made it if we hadn't made it if we hadn't made our requirements so high, because we had thought we absolutely had to have the bunkhouse, we had to have the U-shaped couch, we had to have the additional tables. A lot of those things turned out to be a pain in our butt, and we had to make it so it would work for our family. So those are my 2 biggest regrets. And I know as I've talked through this video that I have realized that I have a couple of things. I'm sorry about the sunglasses, by the way. It's just kind of like bright it's like bright right in my face. So, oh, and as a side note, these earrings, if you look close, they're little handcuffs, and I got them on one of our trips to the prison museum, and the prisoners actually make them, and it contributes to a skill and everything. So it's kind of cool. I really like them, and it kind of started me on every place we go, buying a pair of earrings from everywhere we go, and they're nice and small and storable, and so it's a little memento that I get when we travel. But kind of making this video has made me realize I need to make a lot of videos. I know probably you guys are probably curious how much we paid for this and how much it costs to RV and stuff like that. So I will definitely make a video about that in the future. But for now, my 2 biggest regrets: that we didn't do it sooner, and that we just really didn't know how to we didn't really know how to pick an RV. We picked it like you would pick a house, you know, and thinking we needed this and we needed that. But honestly, if you have the space, you can do anything you want. And I will do some videos. We are going to be really getting hot and heavy into the upgrades and the, not upgrades, the renovations here. We're going to be putting in a bathtub and doing a lot of changes. And I'm changing our walls. So the darkness is one of my biggest issues with it, is the dark wood. It makes it kind of never light no matter what. So I'm going to be changing that, and and I will take you guys along with me. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and give me a thumbs up if you did. Don't give me a thumbs up if you didn't. Just move on. Anyway, love you guys. Have a great day.